Hello, Delaware County. Welcome to the Whistler Podcast. Today's episode is called Death or Taxes, and we are here today with, of course, my co host, Rick Yencer. He's an author and a newsman. How are you today, Rick?
Well, I'm fine. It's a sunny day. We're
It
just
is.
a moment before Christmas, and
It is.
it's time to play.
And I'm Elisabeth Edgell, the administrator and creator of Delaware County Community Awareness on Facebook. It's a group that's local to the area, and we deal with all things Delaware County. So today with Death or Taxes, we are going to get started because we have a lot of information coming at you, a lot of little updates that are going to kind of set the stage as we go into the holidays this week and everything gets shut down for a little bit and get us ready to do our year-end show, which we will still have coming out before the first of the year.
Oh, we are?
Yes, I always do a year-end with all of your pictures
Oh,
and
that's right.
the top
Yeah,
posts
when I
in
was
the group.
detained not long ago,
Yeah, I like to put it up.
it was a plea for help, but I can
There's
help.
no helping him. Trust me.
We'll see.
He's yeah. So we always put up at a year end photos, and then I take the top posts in the group, the things that you talked about the most in that year,
Exactly.
and I put up them. So it's usually a nice little video format, and we put it up end of the year. But we'll have an end of the year podcast, kind of tying up some of the important. Maybe we'll do a top 10 most important things that happened that year. I like that. Let's do that. What do you think? What do you say, Rick?
We can do whatever you want because, this year, with what was going on with the federal government, what's been going on here locally, with not only renewable energy, and we just say no time and again while it goes into Blackford or Randolph, shutting down Prairie Creek, Ball State, and its continued development or demolition of the village. Besides, we did get a little bit of money here lately from the governor in a neighborhood that needs help, and the mayor.
We'll talk about all that. All right, we'll talk about all that.
Okay.
But I think if we both submit 10 top 10 things that we think were the most important things, and then we can go through and pick our best out of that.
There was plenty going on.
So we'll do that before the end of the year, and it'll be also with the video of all the things that Rick has done this year. Rick has gone to everything you people have done. Everything. He goes to all that stuff. He's been doing it for 40 years. So, say what you will about him or I, but he's at everything you people do. And he's reported on it for years. So,
I know Muncie.
Yeah, he does. And he knows the in and outs of people. And he remembers, where they come from and the stories and the foundation.
Oh,
so
yeah, we kind of figured out.
I suggest you talk to your elders in your life because there's a lot we can learn. And, I mean, he's a wealth of information. So we're going to get started today. We're going to start on a little dinky story, Spartech.
Oh, yeah, the factory
It's a little bigger
closing.
than you think. We got something called the Warren Act, and I believe I have the paperwork here for that. Let's see. The Warren Act, class action law firm Strauss Borelli
Oh, you've got it.
PLLC said that it's investigating Spartech because it believes that its employees at the Muncie plant may be entitled to 60 days of severance pay and benefits. The Warren Act is a federal law that requires employers with 100 or more employees to provide 60-day notice of significant layoffs or plant closings. The law firm said in a news release, "We are investigating whether Spartech failed to provide at least 60 days notice before laying off 125 employees and therefore violated the Warren Act," writes Strauss Borelli.
Well,
That's out of Chicago, right?
Right, that's what I found out when we went out there a week or so ago when the notice came out, and the state provides that notice, that a lot of these people are already gone. That they have maybe half as many, because if you, when you want to talk about this, it's a portfolio company. They bought the old Ball Corporation plastics plant years ago after Ball Corp left and took its headquarters out to Colorado. Spartech came in, and they were a leading manufacturer of plastic containers for food, healthcare, and others. Well, in the last 10 years, they've had problems keeping contracts and business with a lot of big providers, like a lot of their big customers like Procter and Gamble. But in the meantime, tell them a little bit about
well, they got the naughty
big
part.
conglomerates
The reason
that
they're
own that.
closing, right? Would you say that this is the reason they're closing? Nautic Partners complete the sale of Spartec to the Jordan Company. Now, the Jordan Company, Rick, do you know anything about that
The
company?
Jordan Company is even a bigger plastics manufacturer. They're a conglomerate that has gobbled up, say, smaller ones like Spartec, and they have a plant south of here that I think a lot of the employees may end up at. But Jordan has all kind of plastics, not here, just
Well, it
in.
says here that they provide acrylic products, plastic sheet and roll stock,
Oh,
specialty film laminates, and package solutions to over 1,000 customers in North America, many of whom have partnered with Spartec for decades. So they
right.
have a long history of providing customers with innovative material. And that's good since it was formulated and they engineered solutions with plastic.
Well, I think the precursor to that was last summer. Spartec got like 45 million to pay down their debt and to also operate, and then all of a sudden they come in and they gobble it up. Now this is how corporations, conglomerates work in this country. Everything is just buy, sell, trade, depending on
Yeah, it
whether
says
they
the
can
team
sell the
also
service, the
closed.
product, or
It says the team also closed and integrated its first add-on acquisition during the investment period.
right.
So that meant when they were getting set up, they were already
They were already.
for sale.
Yeah, they were already sold.
Yeah,
probably.
so I don't think people understand that enough. Even though Spartec, from what I'm seeing here, from all their quotes from everybody, they provided great services to people, and everyone was really happy to partner with them.
That
But that isn't enough these days, is it?
Yeah, that factory's been here 40 years, but like so many other factories, whether it's
Dates back to the
Chevy or Warner Gear,
1960s.
it just has gone away.
So that's about, say, 85 years.
Hmm?
It says it dates back to the 60s.
Oh, that plant?
Yes.
That
No,
was
the
all,
headquartered one, the
oh,
Maryland Heights.
oh, the one, their company. No, the plant there, Ball Corp opened that in 84, and then they sold it to
Well, the
Spartec.
Jordan Company only started in 82.
Right.
That's crazy. And it's a excess of $14 billion since 1987 and a 39-year track record of investing in and contributing to the growth of many businesses.
Again, like I said,
They're not investing in growth. They're investing in destruction.
No, what they're doing is shutting down old plants, creating new business, and taking it elsewhere.
Yeah, they're not bringing it here. Why?
Because anywhere but Delaware.
I don't understand that, because if you're closing a company and you have $14 billion, why wouldn't you just reopen there to keep
This-
well-being with the
Two
employees?
things about Muncie and its manufacturing base that has withered and gone away. One, we were a strong union town. Corporations these days don't want a union.
That
The
makes
problem,
sense.
the problem too, of bringing in foreign investment like Canpack
Yeah.
or this guy that I found,
Kane,
or well, that's an older one
but
too.
that's Japanese.
This Canadian firm that bought the old McCarty lumber, L&J Manufacturing, they're looking to expand too and build a new plant, but it's only like 30, 40 workers. And not only the union issue around here, everything in manufacturing is automated. We don't need
Yeah,
thousands
so
of
you're
people to
talking
make
about
things.
high-quality people and
Everything-
high-educated people that have to
Everything
run
is
that shit.
automatic.
They have to have engineers, so they're not hiring blue-collar workers around here. They're hiring
Well,
college. They're bringing people in.
Yeah, there's still
Because there's
production
nobody here
people.
with those educations hardly at all.
Well,
Canpack has a hell of a time keeping people.
they just
I've had 3 promoters get a hold of me, recruiters.
And I heard, I haven't confirmed this with the union, but they apparently they have a union out there, but they only have about 100 people. It's not like the
No.
days of Chevy and
Mm-mm.
Warner Gear had thousands.
No.
We don't make things that way
No.
anymore.
So, all right, so there's Spartec. We've got that discussed. Let's move on to Mike Hicks. And
No, Mike Hicks.
let's
what's
go
he saying
to, well,
now?
I mean, you have him talking about the downtown and the employment rate staying
Oh.
stalled, but yet you got the cost of living going up.
Right.
So
And like he said in his column today that you can read online at the Ball State Center for Business Research, like he said today, the tariffs have raised the cost of living. You tax people, you tax countries, they're going to raise the price of either durable goods, food, or whatever else you're buying.
just like the mayor saying that press release the other day, how he's taking in more tax money this year.
Well, okay, if you want to quickly that is because income taxes are different from property. Income taxes are based on what people earn, whether they be public safety, teachers, or other private business and industry. And if you remember right, the mayor gave big raises to public safety. Teachers have gone from like 30,000 a year to 50,000 a year. Those incomes just for basic jobs, basic public jobs in this community have gone up. That's why the income's up. And I'm telling you too, after they fought over property tax relief, and you heard all the crying and whining from schools and government saying we can't we're going to lose money by giving taxpayers a break. Hey, we've been paying our way for a long time. And what's going to happen in this coming legislature, they had a legislative talk the other day down in Indy, and what they're going to do is open the floodgates on income. So you're going to pay another % on your income.
And you already pay more in your local income taxes than you do
to the
federal.
Many income? We talked about that the last time.
Mm-hmm.
We got law enforcement, we got courts, we got economic development, capital
and
money.
And the mayor's spending every project he's got. The fact is that fell on deaf ears. That post that I made in my group, sharing the mayor's press release about how our economy's looking up. Okay, well, that was the dumbest shit you could have ever said to the people, because every single comment, and there was a bunch of them, every single comment was like, "Are you kidding me right now? Are you for real?" Because people have never been more poor than now.
Let me say one more thing about what Hicks wrote today. Yeah. That manufacturing's down 11% since Trump's historic Liberation Day, and I can prove it. You just come out by me at McGuire to Nebo. Mm-hmm. There are hundreds of cars out there that haven't moved all summer. Car inventories are backed up. They're not manufacturing that much, and when the auto industry slows down in the Midwest, everything else does too.
It does. And when we're talking about, our tax income and what it goes for, keep in mind locally that is your mayor's edit fund. And that is where
the mayor's
edit fund was set up originally for economic.
To help. But they are the keeper of the gold. They are constitutionally responsible for not only collecting but distributing our taxes. Not just property or income, but other taxes through the state. Well, I think most people with property paid last month. They know how much property makes.
But it didn't go up. Property taxes didn't go up. Then how come I paid more?
Because
there's not as many people in the county.
No, it's because of more not-for-profits and the value. They've changed the law where the value of your land, your business, your home, everything else can be increased whether you do anything or not.
So, what the first thing you said?
What?
Just now, when you said it was because
not for profits.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, not for profits own most, or at least half, of the property here in Delaware County.
I did not know that.
Well, let's think about the two big ones, the hospital and university. They don't pay property taxes.
That's right.
And they have millions of dollars of value in buildings, and equipment, and everything else.
At least the college is working on a contract they made with the city that's about 127 years old, if not older. Yeah. So,
they just nickel and dime.
Yeah.
But anyway, the problem with that is, that's another day too, with health care pretending to be not-for-profit when they have surpluses in the billions, like IU Health in this state. But anyway, back to what we found out this month with the commissioners and the council. The county collected, I think, Brad Polk, the county treasurer, indicated about $54 million came in taxes between July and this month.
$54 million.
That's about half of what it used to be. Because
what's the budget for them usually?
Well, no. Wait, let me tell you, this $54 million is for all tax districts, schools, government, and everybody else.
Okay.
The commissioners last week paid out, I think, about $34 million of that money to the schools, cities, the towns, and other government tax districts. And of course, the remainder, as somebody said the other day, they don't know. The remainder obviously goes to the county and all the county tax districts, like the bridges, the health department, the airport, and others. So anyway, the commissioners have been good about spending money, but the problem still is they're is just as bad as the mayor because they spend money on government when economic development income tax should be going to business and industry. They have tax increment financing, which is money for new business and industrial development that goes in a special district, and it's supposed to be paid out for business and industry.
Is
But
it normal?
lately, they have just let it go for whoever wants
Is it normal
government,
that you
schools,
have 50%
not-for-profit.
of your property tax in non-for-profit? Is that a normal thing across the country, or is that just us?
I don't have the details, but
I'll find out for you, because my question is, if I want to know if that's something we should revisit every year at
Well,
budget time. How
I
much?
do know the college towns around here, like Lafayette and Bloomington, they have not-for-profit universities. Bloomington has an IU Health property, but they still got a lot of manufacturing business.
Do they pay
Lafayette
property
has,
tax
yeah. Uh,
on new buildings?
Lafayette has much more manufacturing business because it's proximity to Chicago.
I just wonder if that's something that the county should revisit every
What?
year and make sure that we're not losing a bunch of, and set a limit. The commissioners could set a limit on how much goes to property can go to for not for profit. Yeah. I mean, I bet.
I'd
I
like
mean,
to.
if I thought of it, I'm sure someone across the country is doing that,
I'd like to at least get some
because
kind
that's
of
ensuring
an
income for future
opinion.
generations.
Well, and
By
see,
protecting our
a lot of people think, whether they be an institution, a church, or anything else, or this network of not-for-profit agencies
Like Meridian
foundations.
Services.
Well, that's another story. We could
Yeah,
talk
I'm
about
going to do
later.
another story on that at the end of the year.
Yeah,
Story,
because,
because
see-
I've been watching this girl online that's talking about that.
And that girl needs to understand that Hank owns that company. He made that company. And he has
Yeah,
turned
but-
that into a huge network.
$1.3 million as far as he's not even acting CEO, and he did 1 hour of work.
He's still the owner.
Yeah, but he's not listed. You have to have your job listed. I just set
And
up an
you know
LLC this
why?
morning. You have to have each person listed
I
as what they
understand.
do.
I understand.
An
But
owner's a different listing than
but-
CEO.
let me tell you, too, how he's made millions of dollars. That thing, it's in...
How do you make millions when it's a
10 or
non-for-profit?
Well, because they can. It's just like IU Health. I just told you. IU Health has like $8 billion
You realize
in
that the boards
surplus.
of these non-for-profits make hundreds of thousands of dollars, up to millions of dollars.
Oh, yeah. All their
Right.
CEOs
Yeah,
are paid
and they
big.
do hardly any work.
But let's go back to Meridian so that you have a
Non-for-profits a
base.
bunch of shit.
He set this thing up to be the exclusive handler of all drug and alcohol cases and criminal court systems throughout Indiana. He's got at least 10 or 15 counties where that's all they do.
I'm
Why
not
do
a
you
fan
think
of
they're
Meridian.
running? Yeah, why do you think they're running the crisis center? Because they need a place to.
What do you mean running it? That's funny.
No,
That's hilarious.
they run all.
Doing what?
They run all the drug and alcohol court cases through that place now.
Yeah, I know. Because I
Now,
told you
but
it was a
does that
lobby for
help
the police
people?
back then in the courts.
Well,
That's what I've said from the beginning, and I'm right.
that's what I say. It's not what it was supposed to be, but
So now we're looking at, what is it, $5 or $8 million in the county that we're looking, or $1 billion that we're looking at.
in regards to
Well, you said you had sent me an email. It was $5 billion, and then you
that's
said
the
it was going to be
state.
$8. Okay.
Oh, that's the state.
What
Yeah,
was
just
that
a
for?
real quickie. The
Mhm.
state budget committee met last week after they got burned on redevelopment. Now they're trying to say, well, we're going to help people. Well, no, they're not. They
Pissing
found
on us, saying
tax
it's raining.
projections, even though economists say otherwise, that their tax projections are up by
because
by
they're
4
promoting
and 2
that there's going to be growth.
over the next couple of years, and it's going to take their surplus from 2 billion up to 5 million. But they're not guaranteeing that they're going to reduce health care because Medicaid
That's
is
exactly
a
right.
mess in the state,
So bad.
and they're probably not going to help property owners. They keep saying they're going to do something with utilities, but in
No,
this
they
state,
keep going up.
yeah, in this
31%
state,
all across the board.
yeah, this state they do what they want.
They do.
Because they haven't controlled in my time anything involving gas, electric, water,
You know, in a world that we're not supposed to have monopolies.
all
Do you
that.
have choices in where you get your electric or your water
Not
or your
around,
gas?
not around these,
No, you
not in the Midwest.
Mm-mm. So then we're going to go on to when we're talking about money, the ECI regional planning.
Oh yeah, this little known planning district's been around for about 7 or 8 years. The East Central Indiana Regional Planning District. It was created as part of a network to help the rural routes and other urban areas get money. It's been funded mainly by grants, not only government, but by corporate and foundation, because, we still have a lot of government, or I mean, a lot of foundations here. We've talked about that before with Balls, Schaefer, Ziegler, community,
Right.
and corporate. What's left of our corporate structure around here still gives out money. Well, they have done a good track record. Bill Walter, who is one of the best public servants I know around here, he's run it the last 7 or 8 years. He's also the president of the Daleville Town Council, and Daleville, being next to the interstate, it's like boom. Maybe it's just
Despite King's.
well, all it
ways.
is convenience stores and truck stops.
That's true.
But they all pay taxes. They don't.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's a way station between Indy and Fort Wayne. But anyway, yeah, he gave a report to the commissioners the other day about all the work that they've done. Two little things that I found very interesting, because they do a lot of transportation work. They do transportation planning so they can get both state and federal money for roads and streets, which everybody wants. He indicated he didn't have the final numbers, but he said there in the last 5 years there's been a drastic increase in highway traffic deaths. Now we know the one that was the most known here lately with the deputy that got run over by a semi trying to help another semi driver out here on the interstate.
I wonder if that coincides with when they raised the speed limit.
The speed limit was raised years ago.
Yeah, I
but
thought it was
lately,
just about 5 years ago.
They're still seeing more traffic deaths lately than they've seen before.
Texting and driving is a big reason.
Well, not only texting, but
Angry drivers.
Angry drivers. Besides,
A lot of people have been getting shot at and all kinds of shit.
Every time you add another lane or two onto an interstate, they just go faster. You go up in Chicago, and it's just zoom.
It's insane. Cincinnati's the
But
same way.
he's going to come out with a report here in the spring. Besides, they've got several $1 million in traffic money. Lately, the community crossing grants have gone to all these small towns that Scott Alexander mentioned, Yorktown, Chesterfield, and Daleville got the most. The other significant thing he said too, that given everything that happened with the federal government this year, it got shut down. Musk got rid of billions of dollars.
God.
Very little federal money came in because of that. And like he said, even though they've got a premier,
And that's going to be felt down.
well, yeah,
It all rolls
because
downhill.
all this money, not only does it go for that, it goes for economic development. They secured a grant, Elisabeth Edgell, for a performing arts center over in Gas City some time ago. And it was hilarious because, Gas City...
Gas City is a mecca of performing arts.
No, it has one big performing industry. Warehouses. Walmart and General Dollar.
How's that
two of the
performing arts?
Well, it's performing because they pay taxes too.
I know, but that's not the performing. I don't understand.
And see, they've helped too. See, I forgot to preface
This
this
gives me a
by
headache.
this regional planning district includes not only Delaware but Blackford, Grant, and Jay.
Yep.
And of course, Jay has its own economy over there, close to the.
I did bail in Jay County, and that's a whole new ball game over there. Let me tell
But
you.
it still has a.
So is Henry County too.
It still has a Tyson plant, and it's still got that old auto plant over
But
there.
they set their bail very low over there. It's like 1,000, 2,000
Well, it's a rural
compared to our
route.
5 to
And
10.
we all know about Blackford. 3
No bail in
util-
Blackford.
What?
No bail in Blackford.
Well, we don't.
I'm just saying.
No, like I say, they've got not one but 3 different renewable energy companies spending $1 billion for wind and solar.
And it goes right out of the state.
And Yeah, it's one of them is a. Let me think. One of them I think is a, Microsoft, and I think the other two hook into the Keystone DeSoto line. It's a high power
Right.
transmission line on
And
the east
that's why
side
they
of
have
the
those
state.
other solar places up
And
there.
Grant County,
They do too.
there's another part of Grant County that's connected to Yorktown because a couple of years ago a Chinese invested data center came in and set up in Grant County. Nobody knew that, and they
There's
didn't
a
know
lot of them
about,
all over the place.
and they didn't know about the Chinese data center out here in Yorktown in Park One.
China's bought up all kinds of land right around our Air Force bases, around
China
our
has
factories.
land, it has food. They
Why
own,
we ever let a foreign person buy land here, I'll never know.
because they do all their business through Singapore, which is
Well, that's fine. Do your business through them, but why are you letting them buy land here?
well, they're going to find out real quick.
Yeah.
China can take this place over just in a snap because of the land, because of the technology, because of the food.
Well, let's move on.
They own food.
Yeah, I know. They do.
Producers.
You're
too.
right. I got down a rabbit hole one day on that.
Oh, I
You
heard
just
it
start
on.
doing some research, and your eyes will be like, boom. And
Yeah,
they
I heard
hooked to Black Rock
heard
and
something
all.
on NPR the other day.
Well, let's move on to the Old West End.
Oh, we're going back to the old neighborhoods.
Yes, and we're gonna have pictures here. The Keiselman house.
There's an old Kitzelman house.
Yeah, I knew I wasn't saying it
Kitzelman,
right.
Who had the Indiana Steel and Wire. It's right there across from the old Rector Apartments at Council and Avenue.
Don't they have a house also down on Washington Street as well?
No, they have one over.
And they got the park out by the
They
hitching
have
post.
the one over there by the University, Hazelwood.
Mm.
And Ball State has their other
Maybe I was thinking of that.
castle over there. And
I know they got the park called the Kitzelman Park over there by the hitching post.
yeah, well, that's where
Village Inn.
Indiana Steel and Wire used to be. And they owned that for 100 years, and it's all gone now, too.
No, they couldn't have a splash pad there because the ground's contaminated.
Oh,
just so you
it's
know,
a
that's across
brownfield.
the street from the steel
It's
place.
a brownfield.
Yeah, it's a brownfield for sure.
But anyway, let's go back to
Yeah,
that.
so
when
$3
the governor,
million.
Yeah, the governor came in with the hoopla, the money,
Ron.
last month, or maybe it's October now, gave the city a lot of money for yet another apartment building.
The Ready Grant.
It was, the second round of Ready. The first
Right.
Ready went to another inner city neighborhood, McKinley. And there's been a lot of argument over there whether that was revitalization or gentrification,
Yeah.
because they tore down 100 houses. They tore up the main street, cut the neighborhood in two. They still haven't repaved it or rebuilt
Those people over
it.
there are fed up.
And the mayor got in a little problem with some convenience store wanted to set up across from the new Y and the school, and that shut down. So
Yeah, we don't need a
what's the
convenience
mayor's
store
answer
selling
every
tobacco
time he
products.
doesn't want something in town? He has.
I mean, I spoke,
he
but
buys it.
kids don't need to do
He
it.
buys it.
Yeah, that is
And
crazy.
we still don't know what they're going to do with the old bakery.
Well, I know they were buying some properties over there, and a guy was buying them to turn them into Airbnbs.
But back to the other side, that's a very historic neighborhood because a lot of the first families were there.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the East Central where Emily Kimbrough and a lot of
Kimbrough,
the,
that's what I was thinking
the
of
Boyces.
instead of Kaiserman.
Yeah, the Boyces
That's on
and the
Washington.
Anthonys that lived there that were
Yeah, and I lived
people.
in the second house ever built here on Main and Brady.
Well,
And it was the Samuel A. White house.
right.
Yep.
Old West End hasn't had a lot of single family homes in a long time. They've torn down a lot of homes. And the problem there with a lot of the empty homes, a lot of the homeless people
Separated.
squat in them.
And they separated them into apartments too.
And they
And
subdivide
they
them
get torn
into.
down when that happens. I saw that on the east side. And the landowner, the house owners that live in their houses don't like the influx. And I tell you, my girlfriend owned a house there on Main and Brady,
Right.
and next door to us was renters. That house was tore up.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side of it was renters, and we lived on the corner. You could never get a parking space, and I'm disabled, so I had to have one out in front.
Well,
And they're always in it. I mean, and it just run down the neighborhood. They were constantly parking on our side, in our space over on the street. And they're just fighting and bringing the cops there. And,
even a half a century ago, when Chevy was just down the street there
Right.
on 8th Street, that was a vital neighborhood. A lot of single families lived there. But as the jobs went away, so has the inner city
It's
gone
true.
away. But they're going to spend about $3 million at Ready to build about 34 new homes. I'm
Correct.
still on vacant lots there. They're going to renovate others, but I was awful amused by a big post on the
by
Ball
Judd.
Brothers Foundation the other day about all the work that's been done by the Muncie Land Bank, by Ball State, by others, but they're not doing a damn thing with that Kitzelman house that's boarded up. I know the Wyman Group, the contractors down on South.
Is it a historical building?
Yeah.
I mean, is it registered as historical?
It's still got the plaque.
Okay.
Even
well,
though
I'm
the
saying,
plaque's faded.
you know,
too.
like my friend's house is registered like that. She just hasn't gone through with any of it.
This
It's not technically.
Yeah, this is on the list.
Okay.
And
All right.
we can't get anybody hardly to do or say anything about that. But I have hope that given the work that Ball State's done along with the Muncie Land Bank, they will get at least more houses. But again, it's like the mayor's projects of building more apartments. Where are all these people coming? I say that again and again. There's only limited jobs with the hospital and the university. Everything else is service and supply.
I was at the Oasis to watch a band, Red Asphalt, Saturday, and I sit at the cigarette area, which looks into the River Flat apartments. Right?
Oh, yeah.
They're not even half full. They're not even half full.
Well, it's like out of Yorktown.
And
They've
they
already built.
currently have no maintenance guy there either. The development company's not answering
Well,
anybody.
that's a whole nother story,
That's
too.
just,
If these property managers, they don't make money, they're out.
Because the development companies that the mayor gets us into business with is not ethical usually.
No, they're outsiders, too.
Yeah.
They're not from around
And they all
here.
use different grants from the government, so they're not all based on the same thing.
And all they're going to do is hire somebody, and then somebody
And then they
falls
get rid of
away,
it.
and then they have to hire somebody else.
By the time the abatement's over, it's not even in the same hands it was anymore.
Well, again, we run the Recovery Cafe out of the old Friends Church out there. We know the problem. We know the people. And we are going to help. And it is
I
if
hope
we
so.
can get our opioid money to help those in
Well,
need.
let's see about that, because I want to tell you right now, there's some people that are on the council that won't be on the council because of their decisions with
You're
that
talking
opioid
about the
money.
city or the county?
We're talking about city.
Oh,
And
okay.
I know that the county is now starting to come off with some money.
Yeah, we
with
want
that.
to give a shout out there because the commissioners the other day did hand over money not only to a traditional like the Muncie Mission, they handed over money to the cafe, about $20,000 apiece, because see they've got opioid money and they've got that health.
But
first.
40,000 out of the millions they're sitting on
They're still.
is a drop in the
Both
bucket.
governments have a lot of opioid money.
Yeah, but I'm telling you what, I did research on what the county and city governments are doing with it all across the state of Indiana.
Oh,
And there's
okay.
some people doing some amazing things. They're thinking outside the box. They're building rehabilitation centers. They're not just
Exactly.
giving it to nonprofits that are already overworked. And, $20,000 to a nonprofit is not a lot of money when you're working
Yeah,
with what they
especially
are.
when our not.
There's no homes to get people in.
$100,000 to buy the church.
Yeah, they take in homeless, and they're supposed to find them jobs and training for jobs and a home. There's no homes to put them in. The waiting lists are just incredible. I mean, it's just
home care for people of mental and physical disabilities is all private. I can't
I'm
even
not talking
tell you
about
how
those
much.
people. I'm talking about the displaced,
Oh, okay.
right? That may work,
the
but just
homeless.
not enough to have first and last month's rent. I mean, when you're living
you're talking
paycheck
about
to
people who are
paycheck,
working
yeah,
that
the
are
working
still-
poor that paid this whole thing.
Right.
That fund this whole thing. They don't have homes, and there's nothing to put them in because their affordable housing ain't affordable. So it just gets me upset. Let's move on. Let's go to Braun. You mentioned him again. He came and he did the Ready Money grant, and then what else did he do while he was here?
Oh, well, he said that he appreciated protesters yelling because he knew it's democracy, but he also appreciated working people for doing the good work of trying to improve the community.
You're welcome.
Now, I saw a brief on, I think it was either the Indy paper or Capital Chronicle about his year end. Of course, he's had a pretty rough time.
Yeah, he has.
Because, again, he's got
It's his own fault.
Well, he's got a lieutenant governor that he doesn't like. He's got a legislature
Well,
he
welcome
can't
to our
control.
world with having to deal with bosses we don't like.
They're all the
and
same.
mayors we don't like.
They're all the same party. So
It is.
why don't they get along?
Well, because that's a breakdown in the party system right now.
But we're going to
Um,
see the first of the year when they have the economic conference down at the Horizon Center next
mhm.
month. We're going to see, because I don't see a lot of people buying right now. I'm in the store every once in a while, but again,
I'm broke,
and the prices
and I go to
still,
college.
the prices still aren't going down
No, they're not. They're going up. I mean, the cost of food is just off the charts right now.
because
Gas has stayed low, but nobody can afford
the
cars. So,
two other things that the state and the federal government's going to get hit hard on in 26 is health care, because their premiums are going up. They
oh
didn't
my
do
God,
anything to
yes, they
solve
are.
the ACA problem.
And they're still redoing
And
all that stuff with food stamps and social services insurance.
oh, I forgot. Yeah, you don't get snacks or
Yeah, that
pop
starts
anymore,
in
do you?
January. That does. It starts in January 1st. No pops and no sweet snacks. Now, I'm not sure what the exact parameters are on that yet. I'm
Or
sure,
how it's going
well,
to be
or
enforced
how it's going
too.
to be enforced. I mean, the state's a mess when it comes to those things.
Well,
So we'll see. But yeah,
but since they wasted a couple weeks on something that didn't matter, they're going to cut the legislature short, and I'll bet you a pop they won't do anything on
yeah,
health care, utilities,
no,
or
no.
property tax relief.
I mean, we can't expect them to do a lot of work. Why would we?
Do they?
No. Let's move on to Perry Creek.
Oh,
Wow, I
jeez.
watched that park board
Okay,
meeting.
tell me what you
And I'm
watched,
gonna
and I'll tell
put
you what
right
I
here.
know.
I'm gonna stop and put in the part that I saw, and it was quite
Remarkable.
interesting.
Yeah, how does the mayor get away with usurping the power of an appointed board that by local law is charged with running parks,
I don't
including
know.
Prairie Creek?
Well, it's Mayor's fault for what he did out there. I mean,
Yeah, he did it.
he
They
revamped the
didn't. They did.
campground.
They
He
claim they
added
didn't know it,
spots, and he
but the
gave
attorney
everybody a
knew it.
smaller spot. Because I have friends that stay out there and camp out there, and they redid all that, and they fit in more spots. They put in more piers. They put in them floating piers that they added more
Right.
to. And they didn't get the permission of the water company to do that. And I think they're only supposed to have 50 or 60 spots out there for
Oh,
camping.
that was years ago.
But I'm just saying it
But
hasn't been revisited.
they've
So what's
slowly
Dustin Clark
increased.
doing? All right, like you're a mess, dude. I mean, you
Oh,
let the mayor go ahead and do that when you didn't check with the water company, and it was already overrun then, because 2 or 3 years ago I was out there for 4th of July, and the trash was ungodly out there. It
oh,
was
I
so
remember
bad
that.
at the bathrooms
I
that
remember.
it about made me puke.
I remember.
I mean, I went to my friend's camper instead of going to the bathroom there, and that's the first time I ever had to do that since I've been
Well,
going out there.
let's fast forward to the future, because again, we still don't know what he's going to do when he gets rid of everybody.
And these
We
campers
don't
paid for their
know.
storage, and they
We-
can't have it all year.
Well,
And then they also paid when they were told that we were going to have a 2026 season. They also paid to have gravel put in and other things around their little
Right.
area. And that's all lost now, and there's no recouping
Well,
any of that. And you can't
frankly-
afford to go out and they checked into other campgrounds. Now it's too late to get into most of their storage
they're
for the winter.
still-
And you've already paid at one place, so you can't get your 250 back on that to put your camper in storage somewhere else now.
Well,
It's a mess.
The issue still is that place needs to be cleaned up. But what it's going to be in the future, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to be even half as much.
No,
if
I don't
anything
either.
at
I
all.
think that's a huge resource that we're losing in an
Well, it's-
income source.
Yeah, but it's still our drinking water. So
Which is the most important thing. And that comes before it. But there's protected things out there. There's there's animals and insects
oh yeah,
and
there's
whatnot.
nature. There's
Yes,
wildlife.
and there's a preserve out there. So there's a lot of different things that this affects. The least of all the campers. However, that was our income.
Well, it's
and that's our jewel of Delaware
but
County,
again,
right?
it's the first time in my time that I've seen a local board or commission being usurped by the mayor.
Well, see, the mayor's been doing that with the Muncie Redevelopment
Well,
Commission.
he was the economic development
That's what
director,
I'm
and
saying.
I never understood why the mayor wanted
This
to
is
do
why,
that.
because that way he could circumvent all the procedures and processes.
I still don't understand why he sits on the unsafe building commission. Because again, that is usually people, the building commissioner, the community development, and
because
citizens.
he has his hands in everything that has to do with real estate.
Oh, that's right. What was he? A banker?
A forensic accountant
Well,
for
he's a
corporate
banker.
law, for corporate accounting.
Right.
Yeah, and he was a credit
But
master.
he's another example of a local elected leader. It's not from around here. He
Yeah.
grew up in Indianapolis.
How can we expect them to have the same care and concern that the people who actually live here do? Because as soon as his term's up, he's gone. You know he's gone. He'll
Maybe.
go, yes, he can't get a job making anything more than he did. He was capped at his income. So he's got to go to one of these development companies or people that he snobs around with.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and
Well,
I
that's
bet you
usually
he
what
gets
happens.
another corporate accounting job with one of them and he doubles his salary. And boy, hasn't this been a good 8 years for him.
Maybe he should just retire.
I wish he would. Now, yesterday.
Well, that's
I'm
your
sorry, but
opinion.
he's just a fucking laughing. He makes us a laughing stock. And then we got the
What
BSU
else?
closed meeting.
Which meeting? Oh yeah,
Like
we
the
do have an
chamber?
update. Yeah, we do have kind of an update there with the Ball State 5. You remember last time we talked about the judge, Tom Cannon, found he acquitted one of the Ball State 5, saying that state didn't even come close to making their case.
I didn't.
And now the prosecutor, you gotta love him or hate him.
I hate
He
him. Party jumper.
he had to get his good friend Todd Rokita, the Attorney General, to appeal that because
He's the
still
only one that
thinks-
likes him, isn't he?
I don't know about that. But anyway, Eric's doing what he can with what he's got. But anyway,
Which ain't much.
well, again, Rokita's now filed an appeal, but
Yeah, that's worth the paper it's
it-
written on.
it's probably still going to fall down to the fact that one, the meeting never stopped. There was no disruption. The police chief testified during the trial that there was no violence. So what's the big deal?
Exactly.
Ball State does not allow the public to speak at their trustee meetings. And
Well,
that's
they
their
don't allow you to
problem.
speak at the school board meeting in a manner that
Well,
that
you got to
fits.
sign up the day before.
Yeah, the day before
See-
you have to
see
go
that?
out to the
You
fucking
see how
call.
Ball State has controlled public comment at
And then
school
they
board
only let
meetings?
you have comment at the beginning of
But-
the meeting, not after it or before they make any of their
But-
choices.
Again, Elizabeth, the state law allows for public hearings on taxes, bonds, and other financial
just-
issues.
Can I just say something? Fuck the state law.
Uh,
We need that changed. We do. We need a few things changed
No.
in the state, and we got to start
Schools
working
still
on
have to
that.
have public hearings on those matters, regardless of
Yeah,
what.
but you just
who-
don't get to interact with it. What do you do at the beginning of the meeting? What are you talking about? The last
some
meeting that
do
they've
and
already
some
voted
don't.
on?
Yeah, some
It's
do
worthless.
and some don't. Now,
I mean, come on.
the county waits to the end, but some of the
But
schools
that's still after
start
they've
at
already
the
done it.
beginning.
You know, that's ridiculous. I couldn't believe that when I went out there. I mean, to have to go out a day in advance. How do you know if you want to speak until you hear what
Oh.
they're talking about?
Well, it's what you do for a living. It's online, Liz. All you have to do is get online.
No, you
and
just
do
get an
it.
agenda with a statement. You don't get
Oh,
all
it's-
the what they're going to
everything's on-
discuss.
Yeah, but it's there.
But
and you
it's
can just
barely
sign up
there.
and say what you want to talk
And
about.
where do you find that at?
It's online at the
Where
Memphis
at?
Community Schools website.
Now, why would it be at the school's website? Why wouldn't it be on a government website?
Because
It's in
everybody,
the same thing that
because local government and public schools have their own. They don't do
so they like to
state
keep
of
the
Indiana.
public information all spread out for you.
Well-
That's what we do in Delaware County Community Awareness. We
you-
bring it into one place for
You
you.
know how big the World Wide Web is, and you know what online
Yes, but
is,
they
and
do
everybody has
that
their
shit
own.
on purpose so people can't find it. I mean, and do they have an agenda sitting there when you sign up the day before so you can
No.
grab? No, they don't. So you don't even know
No,
what they're
I
going to
think
talk
if you
about.
go in their office the day before, they'll
There-
sign you
it's-
up.
Or it's well, I just
If
it's
you're
bullshit.
an in-person guy like me.
It's more you're pissing on us and telling us it's raining.
Okay.
All right, now let's go with
Well, what-
Stephen Brand. One more thing we want to
Steve-
talk about with him.
Oh well, yeah.
And we're gonna end
we
with
want to
that.
make sure that you get Shannon Henry in there too, because since nobody covers county government, I spent a few hours looking at all the live streams this month, and I found out at the top of the month on like December 1st, the county imposed increases in all the buildings that are rented by people out at the fairgrounds. It had been a few years that they had not approved things, and Dan White, who's the board president, said, well, we don't have much money. And I thought, well, what's he talking about? Well, he said that utilities went up. Well, we all know utilities go up. But Delaware County is one of the few fairs in the state of Indiana that you got to pay for entry during the fair. Most of these others are just 4-H fairs, or even if they are kind of public fairs. In Fort Wayne, Indy, at Marion County, you don't pay to get in.
You pay in Madison
but
County
you
either.
pay to get in here.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, like 20 and 30% for the
that's pretty
Heartland
high.
Hall, the Memorial Building, and the Community Building.
And see, people set their budgets last year, and they're not prepared for that.
Well, they said they needed more money, and the commissioners just
and that goes to the county.
Even the old milk maiden. No, it goes to the fair board. The fair board is set up as a not-for-profit.
Of course,
that
it is.
runs because years ago, when it was a county fair, the Lions Club took it over, and then when the Lions Club got done with it, they created the county created a not-for-profit and took over the land. Actually, that land was given to them by the Balls because that land was all where
my good friend took care of that land for a lot of years.
Where all Minnetrista
Brent Langdon, R.I.P. buddy.
But anyway, yeah, they raised them, and Brand piped up and said something about, or no, was it Henry? No, Henry. Shannon Henry piped up and said, well, maybe we should increase storage and other fees out there too, because see, they have a lot of campers that come out there. They also have a lot of storage out there, like you were talking about. There's no place to store trailers and get kicked out of a park or something. So that's to be continued. Now, at the end of the commissioners' meeting, an old probation guide I know, Kent Mace, a good friend, stood up and he raised an issue with the commissioners, saying that, oh, by the way, Second Harvest that hands out tons of food every month to the people who need it, given they're demolishing the mall, they're getting kicked off of that, and they needed some big public place. And the commissioners kind of, both Henry and Brand kind of said, well, we don't know. And then Brand said something about the fair board, saying they didn't want the trash out there. Now, I didn't know whether they meant
the trash. Is he
the
talking about the
throwaway.
people?
No, I don't know if they were talking about the people or just the throwaway.
I think it was for both.
But then when I talked to the milk maiden, Sherry Riggin, she said, well, we don't know if we can get 400 cars out there. I said, hey, Sherry, you let Ball State students park out there during every home football game. And there's at least 200 cars out there. I said, you going to start charging them too? She says, oh, I don't know. I didn't think about that.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, the fairground has many different uses, but...
None of that money goes to the city, though.
No, it goes into the fair board operation.
And then they use it
and it's not the city, it's the county. The county...
That's what I was asking, because it's located in the city.
But, yeah, like I say...
Property tax would be nice.
Like I say, the commissioners, since nobody covers them, they can raise your taxes, they control the distribution and the collection.
Much bigger chunk of the pie goes to the county.
Well, they got a lot of bridges and roads.
You got one more thing
they
to talk about that we almost forgot.
And what else did they run? There's something else. Oh, the airport.
We didn't talk about the hacking that was done at the county.
Oh, I'm sorry. Our commissioner wannabe, Matt Katz, and he's not from around here either. He grew up in Cleveland. And
he's not a fan of mine.
He went to school out west. His first comment back... Oh, I don't know. It was the commissioners' meeting, or maybe it was at the council meeting. Said how they'd been hacked by some new malware that had screwed up their email. Yeah, didn't you have some notes on that?
Credential
Harvester.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the new malware.
There's new malware all the time. It's really hard to stay up to date with it.
But the problem with that was it complicated, screwed up their email. Well, he said change out all the passwords. Well, there's over 550
If the malware is still there, that won't work.
I don't know. Well,
if it's still there, it won't work. You have to change the problem first, then that'll work.
Let me finish what he said. He said, well, we're gonna try to put blockers on there, but then at another meeting, he mentioned, like we already know, that Jim Fluke, who's been the guy that's done IT for the county forever, he's retiring. Now, they're going to have to, and they got to renew their licenses on a lot of things, like Google, Microsoft,
they're going to have some trouble with that.
he mentioned later that they're going to change out all their emails from Microsoft to Google Cloud. But back to the original story, he didn't say what damage
That's what I was
that
getting
was
ready to
done
ask.
by this malware.
Yeah, how much did it cost us?
Well, they're talking about a couple $100,000 just to change the licenses and change the email
Which they would have
and
to
do
do
some
anyway.
other things, but they don't. They still haven't. I don't think they've signed a deal with who's left in that ID
I mean, if they
department
got
over there.
hacked, then something was taken, whether it was information or
Well,
if
I
there
never
was,
talked to him.
you know,
Like I
but
said, I
like
just
Madison
did the
County
live
got
stream.
hacked a few years back when I was over there,
that
and they held
ransomware.
them for it was ransomware, and they got held for ransom for 3 weeks. And I'll tell you right now, everything went to paper. All right, so I'm a bail agent, and people are going to jail. I couldn't find a girl in that jail for 3 weeks.
Really?
Yes, they lost her paperwork, and she was just
Well,
in the
see, I
jail,
just-
and nobody could
I
find
just
her.
listened to the
And they said they
live
got
stream.
them for $27,000
We-
they had to pay.
First of the year, we probably need to follow up and see what.
Yeah, we do,
let
because that
alone-
was a big deal. They didn't have another. You're supposed to have one operating system, and then you have another backup off-site that can't be touched if this gets hacked. Well, they didn't have that.
I'm not sure even the county has that now.
I'm
but
sure most of them don't. That's what they caught
Because-
them with their pants down.
because
And they never
Fluke-
caught them either.
Fluke was an analog guy, and then when it switched to
Yeah,
digital,
that's a whole new
and
ballgame.
they
I had to go back to school to get updated when
yeah
that switched.
they got new equipment, but the way Kant's talk that
He
the
don't know how to run
equipment's
it.
old. Well, no,
That equipment is
He
probably
worked-
obsolete in the matter of a few years.
well, you can go down the basement and see, and it does
Oh, I'd
look
probably
kind of.
lose my mind.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I'd probably go
looks,
crazy.
It looks kind of old, but see, county spread out. You got the highway department, you got
digital's
the county
changed.
building, you got the jail.
Well, you
and,
had HTML
courts
in the
out
analog
there.
days, and now you got XTML, and that is the code is just consistently getting rewritten, and things are content with AI. It's all
Yeah,
getting
you're
improved.
online. I don't
Yeah,
know.
so I mean, the hacking.
Now I know how algorithms work and how I can get
Most of
information.
the county systems do not have backups somewhere else.
Oh, I
and they
don't
are
doubt
ripe
it.
for the picking. And they never did catch the people that did that in Madison County. And I mean, that stopped birth and death notices. It stopped child support. It stopped buying or any building
Oh, I
permits.
know. It
It
slowed
stopped
everything down.
everything.
Now, I
Everything
don't think
just
this
stopped.
hack stopped anything, but
No,
then again,
but what did they get?
Well, I don't know. We got to follow that up.
Yeah, I think we do too. I
And
think
since
we
he
need to
wants
know.
to be a commissioner, I'm.
And if that's email that they got was whatever was in those emails, well, I mean they're doing county business in those emails.
Liz,
So-
these data centers are doing nothing but harvesting.
Yes, I know.
Oh, why did they call it harvester? That's all they do. They harvest data from you, me, them,
And
everywhere.
that's highly profitable.
And it's all about the money, isn't it?
Well, it is. I mean, what do we call this episode?
Death and taxes.
Yeah.
Well,
It's all about the money until you die, baby.
not exactly.
Well,
You can put it in trust, irrevocable ones. We got a case about that too. Maybe in January we'll talk more about
all
that.
right. Well, I hope everybody has a great Christmas with their families and their friends. Keep in mind there are people out there that do not have any family or friends this holiday
Exactly.
season. Please reach out to them. Check your neighborhoods and make sure everybody's got a Christmas meal. If you have a full belly, then everybody around you should too.
Exactly.
And
pray
give
for
back
peace
and
throughout
pray
the
for
world.
peace. We need it. All right, love you guys. We will see you in a week or so for our final podcast of the year.
Really?
See y'all later. Bye.